teams definitely know what heroes they've been playing.
IG, yeah, indeed. But this final pick now, what are they going to add to the mix here to go against Complexity's lineup? I've got a fair bit of time to decide. I mean, anyone... Okay, it is going to be the Storm here as the final selection. And, I mean, against the heroes on Complexity, you feel Storm's a strong pick?
Yeah, there's only one hard disable. That's all you need. Well, I shouldn't say one, but there's only one hero who has disables for the Storm. And none of them are instant, except for Echo Slam. So until the Shaker gets to blink, Storm is going to have a pretty easy time. Now, it's a little bit risky because they've picked Bounty already, and Bounty has a tendency to want to punish mids who aren't very mobile. Remaining. So think about SF in the previous match that we saw, Na'Vi versus coL, and the Bounty Hunter sitting mid and harassing Swindle for the first, what, like 5 minutes of the game? Just making sure that Dendi on Storm had a good start.
Time.
I think that could happen to Ferrari in this game.
10 seconds
I'm just assuming Burning is going to be playing Clinks, because I don't think Burning plays much Storm. So, there's a TA.
There's your TA.
I kind of expected it. It's very good against a lot of these heroes. It's still good against Clinks. Storm, interestingly enough, does okay against Templar Assassin in lane, because when you hit Overload, for those of you who don't know the matchup very well, Overload actually takes 2 instances of Refraction off, because 1 hits is the Overload, 1 hits is the auto attack, which means at level 1 Refraction, if you get hit by an Overload hit and a Remnant, your Refraction's already gone.
Okay, so indeed something that Swindle's going to have to be careful about here in the mid lane. But indeed, as we get ourselves ready to go for the second series of the day here, Complexity versus IG. Complexity are obviously going to be riding on a bit of a high with their 2-0 defeat over Na'Vi. And let's see how they do up against one of the Chinese giants, IG, a team that historically, they're pretty damn good. And Complexity, they've got a lot to prove. They're certainly proven it so far in this tournament. And they're going to look to continue to do so here against Invictus Gaming. But here we go underway. And I mean, drafts aside, like looking at the drafts, is there anyone that you say comes out clearly on top here?
I think IG's draft is a little bit better.
Okay.
I think they're well-rounded. I think their high ground potential is very good. And their roaming potential is also very good. And I think that IG are a team who want to push the pace more often than not. Like, you don't pick a safe line Clinks to sit an AFK farm, right? Like, once you get Death Pact, Soul Ring, Treads, you actually deal enough damage to be able to go for fighting. So, I think that IG are going to be very proactive this game about taking control away from Complexity. But if coL can defend their high ground like they did against Na'Vi, then we could be seeing a very close game.
Leading in the bottom jungle at the moment, Trana Burning, hanging around, Z-Freak, and Moon Meander down here at the moment. So it is, of course, going to be that solo lane Shaker, at least for the time being. Z-Freak might hang around with him to join in on some of the fun. Scouting out Burning. They did, of course, get this ward out up on the top lane into the Dire jungle. So Lua is going to have a bit of an easier time here on this offlane Tusk.
Now, the way the lanes are looking, I think it's pretty much how we kind of expected. Burning is just going to safe lane. Chuan already has a sentry. I think what's likely to happen here is Z-Freak will most likely spend a good majority of his early game just being a nuisance to mid. Maybe Chuan will have to rotate. But actually... No, I think Faith... Either of them can move, actually. That's a nice thing about having Clinks again. I talked about it during the draft, but when you have Clinks, it doesn't matter which support you move. Whereas if you have something like AM, you want a ranged support to be there because he has to babysit. But since Burning, he's going to have that Searing Arrow to be able to secure CS. He technically hits for 73 damage at level 1 with a Searing Arrow. And for now, looks like it's just going to be Faith here in this middle lane.
Faith just helping to secure this beginning against Swindle Melons. I mean, top lane this Tusk, how much of a hard time is he going to have against Fly and ZZ?
I don't think it's too scary. The one thing he has to be very conscious of is if he gets body blocked too much. The problem is that most Dazzle players don't put any points into Poison Touch because you just want to max Grave and heal. Like, even when you get to, like, the teens level, like 13, 14, 15, a lot of people still don't get it. They just get stats. So without the utilization of the slow, being able to get a good Rocket Barrage should be very difficult. So I imagine that Luo is going to be more than okay up here. He should get quite a bit, actually.
So far at the moment, the lane's pretty static, Bernie. Having a bit of a tougher time at the moment. The top CS on the board is Ferrari. 7 for 3 at the moment in this mid lane. And it's going to be pushed in, so Swindle will be able to find a little bit, catching up 3 for 0. But thanks to that presence of Faith at the start, certainly allowed the Storm to get a bit of a head start in the farm on mid. Faith coming up to the top lane now to join forces with Luo to just see how much they can shut down this gyrocopter to stop Zizzy getting the start that the Complexity are going to need him to have.
I think Gyro is going to be the one that you really have to watch out for. Because of the fact that Complexity have very defensive supports, and the Shaker is not going to just start the game with a Blink Dagger, right? Like, it is being played by offlane, so he'll probably have it sooner than like a position 4 or 5. It's just, you need the Gyro to be at these early engagements in mid. Seeing what we both kind of expected here, just a little bit of a nuisance coming in from Z-Freak, just allowing Melons to get some farm. But Ferrari does get a DD, so even that little bit of harassment won't do too much to him. Yeah, I think the Gyrocopter is going to have to move this game. Like, he's going to have to move around once he gets level 6, 7, and try to help some counter ganks at the very least.
Indeed, Luo is prepared at the moment to go with the Mango in tow. Faith around as well. Hasn't quite hit level 2 yet, so hasn't got the Tombstone, but once we see that come online, I won't be surprised if we start to see some aggression coming out from IG there. Bottom lane, Burning, getting himself away. The harassment coming out from Z-Freak and Moon, and Z-Freak, after trying to do what he can to annoy Ferrari, turning his attention towards Burning as well. Top lane, the farm still looking pretty good for the Gyrocopter. 10 for 2, 10 for 4 on the Clink, so across the map, things looking fairly even. Still just well, no, the difference in the mid lane has been recovered now. Swindle Melons, 14 for 4, bang on with Ferrari's performance here on the Storm. So all in all, the first 3 minutes of this game looking pretty close between the two sides.
Yeah, one hero gets bullied mid, then another support comes by and bullies the other hero. The TA versus Storm matchup is pretty volatile, and that if the TA gets ahead, it can become very difficult for the Storm to recover, but IG know that going in, so they just make sure that Ferrari gets to his bottle, no obstructions there. Once both heroes have it, you're just going to see a slew of bottle crowing. Like, that's all they're going to do. And the more that they do it, obviously, the more they'll be able to sustain their lane and be able to continue to farm. So I don't think one way or another this lane's going to go too badly for either player. I think it just depends on what Ferrari is able to do for his team, if he wants to play aggressive or...
The ball's coming out. Z-Freak's looking for it.
I don't think he one-shots it, though.
No, he's going to need a bit more than one hit to take it down, and indeed, they're aware of it. They're going to keep the courier safe, and Z-Freak, nothing more than just a bit of an annoyance here as they're able to keep the courier nice and safe, and Ferrari coming back to make sure that the bottle can get delivered without any further issues. Just trading a couple of hits here with the Bounty Hunter, and yeah, he's going to be able to get himself the bottle safely.
But I mean, even just doing that, like making Ferrari come back, that means that Melons gets ahead in CS. Like, it's a game of inches, basically, at the very start. So whenever you give somebody like a 1 or 2 wave advantage, it doesn't seem like a huge deal, but it puts Swindle Melons around halfway to level 6, which means if he gets 6 first, it opens up a kill opportunity on Ferrari, because he'll have traps. And I'm pretty sure the Sentry, yeah, it's already been dewarded by Complexity, so if Melons gets a Psionic Trap on him, and Z-Freak is there, they could potentially just dive him if he's not going to hit 6 fast enough.
Top lane, Faith, he's got an Invis Ring, Tombstone available as well. Just scanning it, seeing if he can check it out.
The ward saw him, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a Sentry in there.
So no funny business going to be able to go on there. And I've got to be honest, 5 minutes in, this is pretty much the calmest of starts I think we've seen in any of the games we've covered. Yeah.
It's no real surprise, though. Like, from IG's side, they don't really... Uh-oh, Ferrari?
Oh, he's a little bit low, but he's just hit 6 with that stack. And he's now a little bit low on mana. Z-Freak trading hits with him. He's got 1 ball charge. Ferrari will be okay.
No, he messed it up. He got hit, basically, as soon as he used it. I think Z-Freak... Oh, he wanted to go for the steal there.
He should be able to take this one hit. And he will do as well. So that'll push him up to level 3 now on the Bounty Hunter. You know, every little helps here for this roaming Bounty Hunter at this point. And still a lot of space being created for Swindle Melons here in the mid lane. 31 for 8 now compared to the 24 for 4 on Ferrari. So this TA having an absolute ball of a time.
Yeah, it's all due to the bounty. Like, he's just doing so much for the early game. Just being so annoying to Ferrari. Making him use the courier at the tier 2. Making him walk around in the jungle, not killing stacks as effectively. Like, everything that he's doing is allowing Melons to have a good early game. And I think this is probably going to be the game of the mids. Like, which one can have more impact? Of course, we also talked about Ziz having to rotate around the map because the rest of his supports are pretty defensive by nature, and it's going to be really hard for them to have an impact themselves. They're relying on these high aggression style heroes to kind of make the moves for them.
Z-Freak coming in. They did just pop down a Sentry IG. They know he's on their way down, so Burning's going to be a little bit careful. But Moomiander is looking for a Fissure onto this Clinks. Z-Freak has got the dust ready. They might try and go for this, and they certainly will. Here we go on to Burning. 1-2, there's your first blood, Z-Freak. We've seen it with a lot of rotations, paying off in a lot of different manners. This time it pays off with a first blood for the side. And again, very nice movement here from the Bounty, and very nice preparation, having that dust ready to go.
Oh, Dave, taking a lot of damage here in this top lane. Luo's nearby, so I think he'll be fine for the moment. But like you mentioned, getting themselves off to a very nice start. Every time it seems like I underestimate a team, they just show why I'm wrong. And that's a fun thing, right, about Dota, is that even if you go into a matchup thinking that a team is just going to do, like, they're going to get owned by the other team, you can never really be 100% sure. In top lane, here we go, IG going in.
They're ready to go straight onto ZZ. There is Fly about, but he's actually not got a mana here for a Shallow Grave. ZZ's going to be fine because there we go. He pops the stick charges, so he's got the Shallow Grave for himself. He's trying to look to tie himself to something, but there's no neutrals here. He will go down. IG able to find themselves a kill, get themselves onto the board there with that rotation from Burning.
Yeah, I like the fact that Burning actually decides to just start moving right away. He's got his Soul Ring available. He's got that Death Pact. The damage output that he has right now is still very, very high. 2 points of the Searing Arrows. He hits for roughly 150 damage per use. Even if they want to, because he already has the Bastion up, they can just push the tower.
Looks like that's going to be exactly what they'll do here. Fortification coming out from the side of Complexity. It looks like they might just have to let this one go. Z-Freak is heading in the direction. Fly walking back to lane. Jara's going to go for the TP out to the tier 2. But now with the tower down to less than a fifth of health, and Burning with the Searing Arrows, as you said, should be able to find this. A little bit of gold. ZZ may be hoping for a deny. It's not going to happen. Z-Freak coming in now with the dust. Now, can they turn this one around? Mumianda's taken in a nice Fisher as well. Catching them out now with the call down. There's going to be a snowball coming out, avoiding most of the damage now with the Warriors Puzzle to Z-Freak. Z-Freak getting low. Luo's got to run. They've taken down Burning. They'll get Luo as well. It's a 2-for-1 trade. Faith looking for the TP out. It looks like he will escape, and Chartone not going to be there in time. Complexity do lose the tower, but they find 2 heroes and only lose Z-Freak. Again, another very nice trade there for Complexity.
Yeah, killing the Clinks is huge. Like, their rotation from IG was still very nice because they managed to kill the safe lane tower. And in that time, Chuan has also managed to pretty much secure himself level 6. And now that he has that Laguna Blade, you also have to expect him to start being active in these team fights, just teleporting in, throwing out Laguna Blade this early. It's not even 9 minutes in. So the fact that a position 4 has this kind of farm is pretty insane, at least in terms of overall experience.
Essentially has been joyful here. Chuan can land this, but the Laguna could.
He doesn't have mana for everything though.
I guess he doesn't know, does he, after that initial light strike? And here we go again. It's got back Burning and Luo joining the force here on the bottom lane. They're looking for more tier 1s. They were able to get the push on the top. Now they're going to look for a bit of a repeat here on the bottom. T-Ward will come out, so there's going to be no chance of Z-Freak getting close and personal for some sneaky action. Nice ancient stack here for Swindle Melons that he's going to be able to take though during the time being. And Mumianda, he's hot on the trail of Luo. The tower getting low. Burning will be able to find it. Z-Freak Fly Mumianda ready to go with a Fisher onto Luo. Now your Snowball out to safety to the creeps. No one's going to die, and this time IG get away with taking the tower and not having any casualties on the side.
I really like the way the IG are going about this, though. They're very objective-based gaming right now. They just want to kill towers, and by killing those towers, they're basically just saying that Ferrari is going to have free farm mid, right? Like, the TA has that ancient stack, actually being scouted out here by Burning.
And now with the backup here from Luo coming in with a snowball, they can look to try and go for a kill potential. Swindle Melons is low, hasn't got the refraction in time, will go down. And that's a big kill to take there. He was able to get a fair bit of the stack first. There is still some of it left.
Yeah, they can't kill it. Like, they don't have the heroes for it.
And the ice charge from there just blocking off Complexity from chasing that one down. But 3 for 3 at the moment, 10 minutes in. And this game could get any closer if it tried at the moment. Some pretty impressive stuff coming out from both sides so far.
Again, the big factor is just going to be when Ferrari decides he wants to start moving around. I'm curious if he's going to go Orchid or if he's just going to go straight into Bloodstone. Bloodstone is typically seen as like the stable option, but the way that IG have been playing this, they definitely have shown that they want to try to push the pace at least a little bit. You know, they're pushing in those towers, middle is taking a little bit of damage, but tier 1 mid, or excuse me, tier 1 offlane, tier 1 safe lane are both dead already. And that just opens up a lot more room for heroes like Storm and Clinks to really do what they do best, which is run around, try to force the issue, find picks. And as soon as they find a pick, the nice thing about having Clinks too is you kill the towers so fast.
Yeah, we've seen it happen twice, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see it happen again in the mid lane when Burning wants to join it. He's going to use this time and space though to catch up on some farm here on the bottom lane in terms of item build with the Tread Soul Ring. And now just finishing off the Aquila here. Nothing too major coming out for the Clinks as of yet, but He's finding the space, and not a lot that Complexity can really do to stop it. So Melon's just looking to finish off this stack of Ancients with the guard of Z-Freak hanging around there, just in case anyone came up like the Clinks have the sentry ready and waiting. Lina, though, meanwhile, actually finding a kill onto Dazzle there in the top lane, as Tron catches them out.
Yeah, he had some help.
Yeah, Lua and Faithful about as well.
And for now, it's pretty quiet, though. Like, only having 7 kills in a 12-minute game by TI5 standards so far is actually pretty slow game. But I think it's going to start picking up here soon. We're going to see the Blink Dagger come out soon from Moon. Looks like IG are rotating around towards middle lane. Luo is in the area. Ferrari's got that regen rune going. He is going for Bloodstone, by the way. It's not going to backtrack for the Orchid.
Okay, and let's have a look at the net worth actually so far. It's Ferrari at the top of this game at the moment, 5.3k gold. Still with those ancient stacks, Wintermelon's only a couple of hundred behind, still looking very good on the TA. And then you've got Burning sitting on the 4.6k. It is in fact the Gyrocopter at the moment that's a little bit behind his Zizzy's farm. Not quite on the same level as the rest of the cores in this game.
They were being hard pressured though. And as far as laners go, Clinks is probably a better laner than Gyrocopter in most situations, just because Clinks has a longer attack range. He's actually 630, which is higher than most heroes in the game. But he actually has Searing Arrow on top of that, so his last hitting potential in terms of damage is higher than the Gyro as well. And there was dual offlane, right? So they had that Undying in the area for a little while, and they also had Luo up there. So he was being pressured more, I feel, than Burning was. And Burning didn't even care about sitting and farming that much. Like, after he got his level 6, he just immediately rotates after he gets ganked once and says, I'm just going to take towers.
Burning's rotation's been pretty much on point. It has died a couple of times, but it's still not holding him back too much. 4 for 3 at the moment, 13 minutes, and we've got a fair few. 3 heroes on the side of IG. Ferrari, Chuan, they're ready to go. They have got this Laguna Blade, if they can find a hero to burst down. Swindlemelons has the backup of Fly, though, hiding in the tree line. Just ready and waiting in case IG go aggressive. But at the moment, we're pretty much... This is pretty much the playstyle we kind of expect from IG, where they're playing it very safe, they're just making the most of the map at the moment, and they're not looking to go more aggressive than they need to.
I think they're seeing it as if Ferrari gets to a Bloodstone and Complexity haven't really done much, then it becomes very difficult for Complexity to deal with Ferrari. Because look at their team, again, they really only have one real form of lockdown, and that's Shaker. Sure, Moon's blink timing, 14 minutes in. This is a very, very fast blink, and he's just going to immediately buy a smoke. So I think Complexity want to start trying to do something around now, but they're going to lose their tier 1.
And there we go, Ferrari going straight in as well off the back of it towards Wintermelons. Fly and ZZ are there, and here comes the cooldown. It's actually going to catch a fair few of them. It's Wintermelons with the shallow grave.
Echo.
He's going to be able to keep himself alive. ZZ's going to fall down. Moonman throws out the Fisher, hasn't yet used the initiation to find an Echo Slam. They are a Gyrocopter down, and it looks like they don't want to stick around any longer. Wintermelons incredibly low. And he's just holding, praying for dear life, but I think he's dead. Well, yeah, he is. Burning comes in, Faith with the double kill now. Ferrari moving forward onto Fly. Fisher coming out, buying Fly sometime. Ice shards, it catches him. The range on those shards, incredible. Fly to fall as well. 4 heroes down from Complexity. And IG, they turn up to the fight in style, and 15 minutes in, looking to take the tier 2 as well. Look at that Clinks go.
If Moon was there even like 4 seconds, 5 seconds sooner, that could have been a completely different team fight. Like, he got his blink, he got the smoke on the from the courier basically as they initiated, and the tier 1 goes down. So unfortunately, Complexity, they weren't really able to get their big blink timing on the Earthshaker, and they might have even seen it. That's the other problem. Is the first time you get a blink dagger, you get that free initiation. It's like boom, Echo Slam. You know, you win a really big fight. The item automatically just pays for itself because you get one good turn. But it could be the fact that they saw it, so we'll see.
And here we go. They're going to try with the smoke now this time. Do, of course, still have that Echo Slam Fly. And Z-Freak backing up Moomiander. They're headed down to this bottom lane, but no one at the moment on the side of IG is around. We've got Faith at the moment making use of the space up here to try and finish up the mechanism. Just a few hundred gold away from the recipe. They might catch Ferrari here, and with an Echo Slam they could certainly go for it. Have they got enough damage to bring him down though? He's fairly tanky. They're going to try for anyway. No.
Oh no!
They're not going to use the Echo here. They didn't use the Echo to lock him in place.
He didn't use anything. He didn't cast a spell. Like, he didn't enchant, he didn't fissure, he didn't echo, like...
And now, they've been rumbled. IG's on their way down here. Still at the moment, Boomiander hiding in the trees, will look for the TP out, and he should... Oh, the snowball just in time, burning past the vision, and there we go. Boomiander punished there. as IG find the pickoff.
So in that situation, I think it's always worth using Echo to kill an important hero. Like, if you get Ferrari off the map, that's a good thing for you. That means that everyone else on your team is more or less safe to farm. Sure, you got Tusk Initiation and I guess a Klink's walking around, but if you kill Storm, how are they actually going to, like, hard initiate into a team fight? I'm really surprised they didn't actually make anything happen off that. Like, he could have even just fissured into an enchant, and they might have been able to kill him that way.
Oh, with the traps onto Burning, this is going to be very nice for Complex. Burning getting low, but no, Ferrari's there to save him. Burning's going to be fine for the time being. Chuan's there with the defense as well. The cooldown from Zizi. They're trying to fight this, but Faith turns up. He's popped down the tombstone. He hasn't got the mech out to him yet, but it doesn't matter. Double kill for Ferrari. 3 heroes hitting the deck on the side of Complexity, and Burning lives. Somehow, some way. I mean, he was so like, it looked like Complexity were going to find a massive kill. But Ferrari turning up, Faith, the whole shaboodle. It was just too much for Complexity. And I've got to say, IG this game, putting Complexity back in their place. 12 for 3. What a start here for the Chinese.
And there's already 10 charges on this Bloodstone, and it's a haste rune picked up by Ferrari, so during the next team fight, we talk about how hard it is to lock him down. Good luck stopping a hasted Storm. Like, haste is one of the cooler runes to have on Storm because you have to use less mana for Ball Lightning. You can just walk through the team fight instead of using Ball Lightning and draining even more of your mana pool, so you have more of it conserved for when you actually want to go, like, hard on somebody. But for now, Complexity, they're definitely looking a little bit shaky here. They're farming, but they're not really winning the fights.
Difference. That's pretty hefty. Pretty hefty 18 minutes in, coming up to about 11,000 in terms of gold. XP-wise, around the 10k mark as well. A massive difference here between the two sides at this position. And Chuan, kind of on his own here. Fly and Z-Freak around. They're going to send in Moon as well. They could go for this kill. I mean, we're talking about the pickoffs that they need to find, and they might just try for it here. Fisher coming out, and here we go. Moving in onto Chuan. There we go. He's a dead end. He's a dead end. Complexity do pick that one up. At the same time, though, Burning starting to work away here at this top tower. And Burning pretty damn stacked. Second highest on the net worth. He's got the Medallion, Aquila, and the first Mithril Hammer. With this tower, going to put him very close to picking up the second Mithril. At the same time, it's going to be a trade, but it is a tier 1 for a tier 2, so not a favourable trade at all here for Complexity. The only kind of bit of silver lining was the fact that they did find that Chuan kill.
Yeah, it's better than nothing. I mean, track kills are going to be the thing that keeps them in the game. It's going to be Complexity's lifeblood, and they're going to have to rely on some really sick base defense maneuvers coming in for Moon. Like, he's the guy you're looking to right now and saying, if you don't land a good Echo and IG come knocking at our base, we're going to have some serious problems. Like, I think Ferrari probably just focuses Moon during the fights if he sees him. So you're probably going to see stuff like, I need to smoke like behind my tower so Ferrari doesn't see me, because if Ferrari gets to another item and he's going straight for the Orchid to go on that Shaker, if that happens, like, Moon is their last line of base defense. They don't have any other disables. And that means that Klinks and Storm are both just going to run rampant all over them.
Swindle Melons has now got his Desolator.
Yeah.
So we'll see what he's able to achieve with that. And with the Deso and Fly helping him as well. Going for Roshan.
This is a good move. They needed to do this, actually. There's no other way. Like,
Z-Freak, he's been dusted up. They're going to lose the Bounty Hunter on the sidelines. That's bounty down now. Can IG get to the Roshan pit in time? They're heading this way. Ferrari leading it. He needs to do something. He's got the pole charges. It's incredibly low. Okay, Roshan's down. Complexity do get it Aegis now on the TA. Tombstone's been dropped to the high ground here by Faith. Fly looking for the retreat to the high ground, but no, the Sorry kills him immediately. He's down. Now Swindleman's caught in it all. Ferrari trying to fight around CC. Swindleman's getting low. There's 4 of them converging. 5 of them, in fact, sorry, onto Complexity. The Aegis is down. ZZ's going to fall, and IG, they're ready for round 2 here onto Swindle Melons. Moving out for the sidelines, trying to do what he can. He's still got this Echo. Hasn't found the ability to use it. Now uses it on Chuan. Finds 1 kill, but the rest of IG clean it up. They kill him as well. Bounty has respawned, but essentially that was a team wipe there. And IG, they didn't get the Roshan, didn't get the Aegis, but still, what a fight again for them. A massive increase now in terms of gold and XP, as the graph's just going to look worse and worse for any of the American fans out there. Coming up to 10,000 and still up to that 12k. IG looking incredibly dominant this game, and now, of course, with the Desolator done on Burning, towers are going to fall.
Yeah, this is probably Rax. Well, maybe not a Rax, but they don't have Echoes, so it's going to be very difficult, I think, for Complexity to do anything about this, because Moon's still dead for 10.
They don't have fortification.
He doesn't want to use buyback. Okay.
Oh, this is not the play for Jara. Jara, he's going to go down. Fly was unable to get off the Shallow Grave. Will now use it on himself. Burning turning to get attention to the Rax. They're actually going to back up here. Zizi does have a buyback available. And IG wanting to play a little bit safer. Don't feel comfortable going straight up to the high ground. And they back themselves off. Faith, 600 gold away from those Guardian Grooves is who wants to pick them up next. Noting that, of course, Luo has his BKB. Burning now with 1500 gold on top of the Desolator and IG Ferrari. How's the Orchid looking?
He's almost got it.
He's got the cash for it, hasn't he? Pretty much. Yeah, he's the recipe short as well. Okay.
Yeah.
He's a couple hundred gold away, and he'll have that as well. 22 minutes in, looking very, very good for RG.
He's got 16 Bloodstone charges. Like, this is almost on Den Diesel Shrek level we saw yesterday, right? Like, not quite as insane.
Burning.
Pretty close.
Ooh. Fish. Oh, that blink. That blink. The senses there tingling from Moon. And rightfully so. Could have been in a lot of trouble there with Burning. He had a lot of damage. Z3. He's in a lot of trouble himself. Here comes Verizon. What's Jonathan? Walrus punch! Onto the Bounty Hunter. Up into the air. And up into the heavens. As he's now down for 30 seconds yet again.
I'm actually surprised Ferrari didn't just go ham on that. Like, he saw one person showing bottom, and he knew that Moon pretty much just backed and put his blink on cooldown, so I'm kind of surprised that Melons actually lived through that whole thing. Maybe because they used the dust on the bounty and it missed Melons, they thought they wouldn't be able to get a kill.
There we go. They're ready to try and take the final tier 2, just 22 minutes in.
Solar Crest Deso. Like, he's going to hit so hard.
That's a lot of armor reduction. That's I mean, just Roshan as well, when that's up again, it's a fair while. But when it is, RG will be able to take that with such speed. Complexity are smoked up. They do have all the ults available. Echo Slam, cooldown, it's all ready to go. But I think IG, they're aware of this. They're not looking yet to commit as a 5-man. Burning just cleaning up the jungle. Chuan doing so as well. As it is level 11 and has got that Yules on board the Lina. And it looks like IG. And they're ready to go. Chuan, he says we are. He says, let's do this. A little bit of a testing dust there just to see if the bounty was in the neighborhood. It is going to be the case. Swindle at the moment leading the way for Complexity. Oh, the illusion bed. No, it's going to just get cleared straight away. They know that's an illusion. Nothing too fancy going to be happening with that. In comes the second one. Swindle's backing himself up, but there's the use for Tron. Okay, well, they did catch him out this time. Ferrari going straight to the back of the fight. He's looking for the weaker, but they did get the cooldown out. Zizi getting low. It's Luo. There's the Echo Slam, but it's alright. His Fade's coming in with a mech. Pumping them back up. Ring out to getting down low. Ferrari will find the kill. Swindle's doing what he can. Doing a lot of damage. Luo getting low. The Desolator should be able to finish him, and it will. Luo's going to fall down, but the buybacks from Earthshaker and the TA4 heroes already dead on the side of Complexity. They're having to buy back to recover this one. Fake for the TB out. Not going to find it. Shuriken from Z-Freak. They do manage to get Tron only just out. And Ferrari is, of course, back in the base. The fight recap there, and as we can see, a 4 for 2, essentially, but Complexity having to use 2 buybacks to ensure that the fight did indeed go that way for them.
Yeah, it would have been about even, I think, if they didn't have to expend a buyback. And to be honest, Moon's buyback wasn't even necessary. Like, maybe... Nah, because Ferrari was almost out of mana at that point. Like, he had nothing left. So, even without the buyback, I think they most likely would have just backed. That was about the best fight that they've gotten so far this game. Just because Moon got a 3-man Echo.
Z-Freak and Ferrari?
Why didn't he... Oh, he immediately went back in biz, never mind. I was going to say, I thought he stayed out, but he definitely did not. The one thing that I really want to mention about that last fight, too, is when Ferrari goes in, he gets Moon, but he doesn't go for the kill. Which I think he's probably regretting now. Like, he used Orchid on him, and then went on Fly to try to stop him from getting a Grave. But I think if you just go for the kill and force out the Grave, and then you wait for it, and then go on somebody else, it might be more reliable in top lane. That's just a dead shaker.
Z-Freak was able to find the return kill, though.
Yeah.
So trading the Shaker here for the Burning Clinks, that's a lot of money going to Bounty. I'm sure that'll be shown
That was 1,200 gold.
Yeah. That's going to be a fairly well-off bounty after that, but still quite far behind in those than Ferrari. He's looking for the fight. Silences up Fly, now turns his attention back towards Zizi. Zizi getting low. They do manage to get the Shadow Grove off Fly. He should die. Does manage to get the Weave off as well for this fight. Fly still on the retreat. Will go down. They lost the Jara here as well. And now Complexity with 3 heroes down, 2 of them without buyback here for 30 seconds. And IG, and they won't quite be able to get this tier to the bottom lane because the creep wave from Complexity actually right round here towards the bottom. But still, nonetheless, IG just holding on to the lead that they've had for the majority of this game. 20,000 and Oh, hang on, they go for more. Straight in onto Swindlemelons. There's your silence. And that's a T8 dead. Laguna Bay to seal the deal. And that is another hero that's not got buyback. 70 seconds out for the count. They're looking for more. Chant glowing in, and he's going to find it with a sentry drop. Bounty Hunter is down. They've got the Shaker and the Dazzle for this defense. They will have the Gyro back up, but that is the Bounty and the TA off for a minimum of 40 seconds.
The nice thing, though, is there's no Clinks, so trying to go in right now without Clinks for pushing the tier 3 is pretty tough. Like, their right-click damage just isn't that good unless he's there, so they're going to have to wait for Burning to make his way across the map. The Roshan spawn is actually not... We're not sure how long it's going to be just yet. There's about a minute left before it shows if it's going to be 1 to 3. And then after that, we're probably going to be seeing IG prioritize it. I'm not sure if they want to go high ground, they're going to have to go top. I don't know if they want to try to push into a tier 3 unless they find more picks. If anything, they'll probably just try to force a buyback.
I mean, look at this warning as well here from IG. It allows them to look for any kind of situation like this. They've got this vision here. They've got it in the mid lane as well. Anytime anyone dares leave the base, you're going to have either Burning or Ferrari straight on your case.
So it's a bit weird that that gank actually worked, because if you look at the wards, the Dire ward was placed before the Radiant ward, which means that Complexity at some point in this game saw IG ward that spot, and Fly still shows there. Which is a little bit odd. Like, typically stuff like that doesn't happen. Because if you see them place the ward and you know you're playing against Storm and he has Orchid, then you have to play in a very specific way. You just can't show, right? So that's a little bit strange, but here comes the damage dealer, Burning. He's chunking away at this tier 2 in the bottom lane. Should be an easy kill for IG.
It certainly is indeed. All tier 2s now wiped off the board, and so far Complex, they've only been able to find that one tier 1 from the bottom lane. Elsewhere, the lane's looking pretty much intact for the side of IG, who pretty much since the start of this game have been looking very, very good. It's coming up to a 23,000 lead. And, similar in terms of XP. It's pretty much getting to the point where Complexity are going to need nothing less than a miracle to turn this one around. Maybe an amazing Echo Slam could do it. He's going to be able to quite look at Ferrari. He just goes straight in, fuels onto Gloomy, and he pops out the Echo Slam, but, well, there's your Echo Slam, and it's just not doing the job. He's down for 50 seconds. Ferrari going for Fly. That's a double kill for this Storm Spirit. 27 Bloodstone charges on the man at the moment. He hasn't died a single time this game. Luo straight in onto Swindlemelons. ZZ, he's going to go down as well. Triple kill for Ferrari. He's looking for more as well. Coming in for Swindlemelons. Ultra kill. Where's his Rampage? Give that man a Rampage, Z-Freak. It's already over. GG, well played. Ferrari ending the game with 29 Bloodstone charges, 11 kills, 14 assists. Doesn't die at all. What a clinical performance there from IG.
We said it during the draft, if you don't have a way to deal with the Storm, and it's Ferrari playing on Storm, you're going to have some problems.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see a Storm ban next game.
I really want to talk about the way that IG drafted and their overall mentality about how they went playing this early game. So a lot of the times you see Burning and you're like, okay, yeah, they're going to pick him a hard farmer, you know, he's going to get like 80 million GPM, win the game. What they did here is they said, Ferrari is actually our position 1 in this game. They said, okay, Clinks,